no. You think you're gonna see what happens in the closed doors of Hollywood? Why would you see that? You know, that whoever's taking part in those kind of that kind of decision making is obviously from a place of power a lot of the time.
What's up, everybody? Today we are going to be talking about Star Wars and John Boyega. And we are going to be reading an article on Deadline in which John Boyega said he had a transparent, honest phone call with Kathleen Kennedy after Star Wars race comments. And you may be asking, why are you wearing glasses? Well, a quick funny story. I woke up and I had this red spot on my eye. I freaked out, obviously, but it's not painful and it's not an infection or anything. It's just, I think, a blood vessel that exploded, and it does sound kind of scary, but it's just apparently happens. It's not painful or anything. I will be seeing an eye doctor just in case. But anyways, I'll be wearing my glasses going forward until it's actually healed. I just wear my glasses mostly for resting. But anyways, enough about my eye and let's get to the subject here. John Boyega, we're going to go back a little bit and rewind if you don't really remember what happened. So in the summer, he gave a very powerful speech in London that was very close to where all the protests were going on with the Black Lives Matter. And right after, Star Wars posted a Twitter saying, they tweeted about it and just say, John Boyega is our hero. We stand with you. And obviously things were very heated then. And but the reason why a lot of people were calling out Star Wars is because clearly people get it and understands that Finn is no Mace Windu. He is no Lando. What I'm trying to say here is that Star Wars was calling Finn their hero, John Boyega their hero, when in fact they didn't even bother to give the character a nice and pleasing ending arc. And this is one of the things that John Boyega himself was very much upset. He gave a lot of hints on the internet. He was tweeting about it. Very, very often he was saying a lot of things, and this all started after The Last Jedi. Finn started off with such potential. It was a character that, something that we have never seen before. First and foremost, we have never seen the perspective of a stormtrooper, right? That alone is already very interesting. Then we have, this character that is, he was stolen when he was a kid. He was not a clone. He was a stormtrooper, but then he's having these different thoughts. And then not only that, we have hints that he could indeed become a Jedi because he's Force sensitive. But we only find that out through interviews that J.J. Abrams said after the trilogy is even done. So apparently the whole movie, we're talking about the third film, right? The ending of the Skywalker saga. The whole thing that Finn wanted to tell Rey was not that he loved her, but that he was Force sensitive. And if this is not a major big deal, I don't know what else is. And Finn was that kind of character that started off that you thought he was a main character, but then he kind of became a side character. Completely. Not only that, we also have Rose Tico, a character that was totally Jar Jar Binks toward the third film, because people didn't like her. And I said in many videos that has nothing to do with her race. It has to do with the way that he was written into the story. First and foremost, they gave so much emphasis on a new character when everyone wanted to know about Luke Skywalker and what was the deal with him. Think about it. These characters have not been seen for 40 years. You bring them back. I'm talking about the OG. And then what do you think people want? What do you think people are expecting? They want to see the OG characters. They want to know what happened to them. So they wrote the character in a way that it just became very annoying to everyone. And then they made Finn her sidekick. It was just one mess after the other. And then you get to the third film. Finn is pretty much the same guy that he was on the first one. There's no arc. It's just terrible. And John Boyega did not hide his how disappointed he was with this. You know, he said it many times. And I think this was something that was very shocking coming from Hollywood and coming from celebrities, because you always think that people are going to applaud Disney. They're going to pat them in the back. They're going to be thankful because obviously, even if he hated his character or not, it was still such a massive chance for his career. But he was very bold when he said, I did not like what they did to my character. And he says on this interview as well, and apparently this is the transparent, honest phone call that he had with Kathleen Kennedy. So I hope I did a good job at giving a kind of a summary of the whole backstory, but we're going to get into the article right now. So here on Deadline, it starts like this. John Boyega has said that he had a transparent, honest phone call with Star Wars producer Kathleen Kennedy, who has also become a villain herself, to the fans, after expressing his views that the franchise marginalizes non-white characters. In a candid JQ interview 2 months ago, Boyega expressed frustration that non-white characters are pushed to the side in the sequels to The Force Awakens, saying that Disney gave all the nuance to Adam Driver and Daisy Ridler's character. And of course, I have to agree with that because, yes, Finn's character was completely sidelined, and this started with The Last Jedi, and so was the same with Rose Tico, because she just wasn't a very good character. And this is the fault of whoever wrote that film, Rian Johnson, right? That wrote the character that way. It just made the character very unlikable. And then you get that whole mission with Rose Tico and all that stuff that is just nonsense. And obviously it was just a terrible idea what they did there. But continue here on the article. Speaking to BBC Today ahead of the release of Steve McQueen's Small Axe film Red, White and Blue, Boyega was asked how the land lies with Star Wars producers after the comments. So this is what he said. Boyega explains, so I got a phone call with Kathleen Kennedy, Lucasfilm president, and she verbally showed support, and we got to have a really nice, transparent, honest conversation that is beneficial to both of us. Now, one of the things that John Boyega has said on his powerful speech is that he didn't even know if he was going to have a job after that speech, mostly because he was saying that, yes, we are not treated like other characters, even though when they hint that our characters are going to be essential and they're going to be major characters, towards the end they're just sidelined.
Do you understand how painful it is to be reminded every day that your race means nothing? And that isn't the case anymore.
But I believe that this was specifically done because of the lack of planning of these new sequel films. You know, Kathleen Kennedy did not have a plan for the Skywalkers. She did not have a plan for Rey. She did not have a plan, despite what John Boyega is saying, because he's saying they didn't know what they wanted to do with those characters. But I don't even think they knew what to do with those characters either, because even them did not have pleasing endings. At the end of the story, everyone was unhappy, you know. Very few people really loved the film. I mean, there's people that loved the film, of course, but the majority of the fans did not like it. It's sort of, I don't know. And the neighbor's dog always start barking when I'm recording, but I'm not going to cut it, so let's just continue. So he continued, I think these kinds of conversations, you can go into the realm of sounding like you're just trying to save your own career. But what is great now is that it is a conversation that anyone has access to. Now, people can express themselves about this, knowing that any character we love, especially in these big franchises like Marvel and Star Wars, we love them because of moments that they are given. We love them because of those moments, and they are heroic moments that those producers all decide for these characters. So we need to see that in our characters that are maybe black and from other cultures. Okay, I get what he's saying here. In September, Boyega told JQ, you get yourself involved in projects and you are not necessarily going to like everything, which is true. Actors are not really in charge of anything that is written on the script unless they're part of the producing themselves. You know, if they're producing, then they have a say, but most of the time they just have to do what's on the script. But what I should say to Disney is to not bring out a black character, market them to be much important in the franchise than they are, and they have them pushed to the side. It's not good. I'll say it straight up. And he continued. He added, "You knew what to do with these other people, but when it came to Kelly Marie Tran, when it came to John Boyega, you know, F all." So he curses here. So what do you want me to say? What they want you to say is, I enjoyed being part of it. It was great experience. Nah. I'll take that deal when it's a great experience. They gave all the nuance to Adam Driver, all the nuance to Daisy Ridley. Let's be honest, Daisy knows this. Adam knows this. Everybody knows I am not exposing anything. And he's right. But at the same time, I don't really think they gave any nuance to anything in that movie. I just think that movie was a hot mess. And on this interview, he even says that people should not be blaming J.J. Abrams because he was not even supposed to return. And he just returned to try to save this this mess that was done by Kathleen Kennedy. But anyways, guys, long story short, this conversation that he had with Kathleen Kennedy is probably Kathleen Kennedy trying to save her skin. We're getting close to a time where they might be deciding, does she stay, does she go? We all know that if she leaves Lucasfilm, she will leave very gracefully because she's a big powerhouse name. Despite the fans not loving Kathleen Kennedy for what she has done with Star Wars, despite people wanting her to just move on, I have a feeling she wants to stay, and perhaps this honest conversation she had with John Boyega is perhaps trying to not be the bad guy here, because let's be honest, the whole idea of Finn being a kind of a silly character and kind of a joke of a character towards the end, it was approved by Kathleen Kennedy. She might not have written those scripts, but she approved them.
The ignorance of people that think that what you see in the media of any actor or footballer, represents the entirety of their experience. Oh no. You think you're gonna see what happens in the closed doors of Hollywood? Why would you see that? You know, that whoever's taking part in those kind of that kind of decision making is obviously from a place of power a lot of the times.
In the end of the day, it feels like no one really liked what they done. With the Skywalker saga, the whole end wasn't very pleasing. John Boyega wasn't really happy. Daisy Ridley doesn't seem to be very happy about the character. It was just a whole mess. It's funny how you think that something that is so powerful, that has survived for so many years, like Star Wars, would have this kind of ending. But I still think that there's hope in there. They're trying to course correct, perhaps with The Mandalorian. But I don't know, guys. This is what's going on. This video is already way too long, but drop your comments down below. Let me know your thoughts. I'd love to hear them. And if you enjoyed this video, don't forget to hit that thumbs up, subscribe for more. See you next time.